Okay guys, good day and welcome to this YouTube channel. So in today's video we'll be talking about the thoracic vertebra, as you can see that I'm holding here. Now the thoracic vertebrae, they are divided into two groups. They are divided into typical, which are thoracic vertebra 2 to 8, and atypical, which are thoracic vertebra 1, 9 to 12. We'll be talking about the thoracic vertebra, the typical thoracic vertebra. Now, the thoracic vertebra, like all other vertebra, it has a body and it has a vertebral arc. Now, the vertebral arc consists of different structures that join together to form what we call the vertebral arc. So the vertebral arc of the thoracic vertebra is formed by pedicles, as you can see here. It's formed by superior articular process, as you can see here. It's formed by transverse process, as you can see here. It's formed by spinous process, as you can see here. It's formed by the lamina, as you can see here, and it's formed by inferior articular processes here. So those structures constitute the vertebral arc, and the thoracic vertebra is divided from all other vertebrae in that the transverse process has a costal facet, as you can see here. It has a costal facet that articulates with the articular part of tubercle of the rib, that articulates with the articular part of the tubercle of the rib. And also it has two facets on its body, which includes the upper larger costal facet and the lower smaller costal facet. It has two facets: upper larger costal facet, lower smaller costal facet. Now these two facets articulate with the rib, with the head of the rib, and I'll be showing you that in a few seconds. So the superior articular processes, they articulate with the inferior articular process of the thoracic vertebra above it. As you can see here, this is the inferior articular process. When it's articulating, it articulates like this, as you can see. So it articulates this way. Next, let us talk about how the thoracic vertebra is different from every other vertebra. Now the thoracic vertebra is heart-shaped, as you can see here. The thoracic vertebra is heart-shaped, and the vertebral foramen, unlike that of lumbar that is triangular, the vertebral foramen of thoracic is circular. It is circular, as you can see here. This vertebral foramen, it is circular. And also, in comparison, the vertebral foramen of thoracic vertebra, it is smaller than that of the lumbar vertebra. And that's because when the brain stem originates from the brain, as it's descending downwards, if you look at the vertebral foramen of the cervical, is a bit larger than all other vertebral foramen. So once it gets to the thoracic level, the spinal cord, it reduces in size, and then when it's approaching the lumbar vertebra, it increases in size again. So that's what makes the vertebral foramen of thoracic smaller than that of the lumbar. I have a video on the lumbar vertebra. Please, after this video, you can take a look at the video on lumbar vertebra. So what separates the thoracic vertebra from other vertebrae? Number one, it has a heart-shaped body. It has a circular vertebral foramen. It has costal facets on the transverse process, and it has also costal facets too on the body of its vertebra. So, and also it has a long spinous process, longer than any other one. So that's what separates it from every other vertebra. Now let me show you how the ribs articulate with the thoracic vertebra. Okay guys, so remember that this is our rib and this is the anterior and the posterior end. This is the posterior end and this is the anterior end. So I also have a video on the rib, precisely first rib. You can take a look at the video immediately after this video, after you finish watching this video. So the rib has two facets on its head. It has two facets, the upper smaller, lower larger on the head. Now this facet articulates with the corresponding facet on the thoracic vertebra. Now if this were to be in a normal human being, this is how it would be in the body. So remember the rib, it has upper larger, lower smaller. It has upper larger, lower smaller. So this part, the larger one, would go to the superior part like this to articulate. So it will be like this when it's articulating. This is how it will be when it's articulating, as you can see here. So one of the facets, as you can see here, this is how it will be when it's articulating in the human body. So the upper smaller facet will go to the lower smaller of this one above it, while the upper and the lower larger will go to this superior or upper larger of the thoracic vertebra below it. So that is how it will be in the body. So in anatomical position, the body of the vertebra, of the thoracic vertebra, faces anteriorly and the vertebral arc faces posteriorly. And also it is worth noting that the spinous process points downward, it does not point upward. So it will be like this in anatomical position. If I were to place it this way, it is not in anatomical position. So that will be all for the thoracic vertebra. If you found this video helpful, you can leave a like and consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.